that you said it's you and Joshua here. Now, is this fight done? What are we talking about?
You know, it's going to happen. Like, seriously, it's going to happen. We were talking with Turkey tonight, negotiations live in person.
World champion, he's now being talked about as an opponent for Anthony Joshua. Can that fight happen?
I think the fight can absolutely happen. I'm looking at it as Jake versus Joshua, which is quite biblical and it's quite impactful in many ways.
According to reports, the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight is officially being targeted for January 2026. Sources indicate the colossal crossover bout is under serious negotiation. Jake Paul's manager, Nakisa Badarian, confirmed that initial talks have begun with Joshua's camp and promoter Eddie Hearn, with Saudi boxing power broker Turki Alashik pushing to back the event. Possible venues under review include Wembley Stadium, as well as locations across the U.S. and the Middle East.
In terms of those active discussions, how far have things progressed? Is it something that you can see happening next for Jake and for AJ?
I think we're looking at it happening in Q1 of 2026 is kind of the current discussion. I think it's public that AJ was taking a little time away. I think he had a little surgery. So once he's ready and once Jake is ready, we're going to squarely focus on that.
There are some concerns, aren't there, within the boxing world about Jake fighting someone as powerful as AJ. How much of a worry is that? We saw what he did to Ngannou.
So power is obviously the last thing to go. So obviously AJ has a ton of power and he's still fairly young.
Jake Paul, fresh off his win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., has dropped a major hint about a potential showdown with Anthony Joshua, saying it's looking very likely for next year. Paul and Joshua have reportedly been exchanging messages, and Paul revealed that Joshua suggested staging the fight at the end of 2025, with a full-scale clash expected in early 2026. His manager, Nakisa Badarian, echoed that sentiment, confirming active discussions for what he called a biblical fight.
Now, I know you're after a world title, but if that doesn't materialize, I know the Tommy Fury name has been floated about. Is there any other fighters who may not be world champions that you're looking to face?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua.
I think that's the main one that, we've talked a lot about is if it's not for the title, it's looking at Tommy, if he's reasonable, and then Anthony Joshua. And he's adamant that he wants to make that fight happen at the end of 2026.
Anything's possible. And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
Paul has backed up his public challenge with real momentum, stating that an insane clash with Joshua is exactly what he intends to pursue next. Following his victory over Chavez Jr., he called out Joshua directly on his podcast and doubled down after the fight, insisting that Joshua is his next target, signaling his intent to shock the heavyweight world.
I want to fight Anthony Joshua, exclusive, because I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua. I know I will beat. Knocked out, right? Yeah. He doesn't have a chin, and he has no skill, and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends. But I want to fight you. I will beat Canelo. I will beat a lot of people. I will not beat David Benavidez.
Paul insists that a proposed showdown with Anthony Joshua would be good for boxing, arguing it would bring fresh energy, new fans, and massive global attention. Describing himself as a breath of fresh air, Paul claims legends like Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Manny Pacquiao recognize the promotional boost he brings to the sport. He emphasized that boxing needs revitalization, and that his mainstream appeal helps attract younger audiences who might not otherwise follow traditional boxing.
You said it's you and Joshua here. Now, is this fight done? What are we talking about?
You know, it's going to happen. Like, seriously, it's going to happen. We were talking with Turkey tonight, negotiations live in person, which are always fun. But it's going to happen, and it's just such an exciting fight that crosses the whole globe. When you ask a lot of people about certain boxers, they don't know their names. And everywhere I've been going, I just talk about Anthony, and I don't have, I'm global, so it's just such a good fight for the sport of boxing, and people will think I will die, but I will show them why I can rise against all odds and beat him.
Everyone's been wanting to see happen. Who will be the king of the United Kingdom? And who will be the queen of the United... Too soon? I'm praying that boxing doesn't happen to this fight, and what I mean by that is politics. People trying to take more money than they deserve. Fuck the money, get in there, make fucking history. This is one of the biggest fights that could happen over this past decade. Make it fucking happen, Eddie Hearn. Make it fucking happen, Frank Warren. Make it happen, Tyson. Make it happen, Anthony Joshua. We don't need fucking excuses. Don't let boxing ruin this fight. Get in the fucking ring and fight like men.
Eddie Hearn has confirmed that serious talks are underway for a potential Joshua versus Jake Paul bout, targeted for early 2026. Joshua is expected to return to action in late 2025 following recovery from elbow surgery. Saudi boxing figure Turki Alashik is reportedly supportive of staging the bout, which significantly increases the likelihood of it materializing.
With AJ are as follows. We will be ready to fight November, December. We are planning life without Jake Paul. But if that is for real, of course, we take that fight in a heartbeat. I don't just think Jake's doing it just purely for publicity, but at the same time, will he actually do it? We'll find out soon, but we're up for it. But we can't just live in the world of waiting for Jake Paul. So we're going to fight December, maybe early January.
Hearn, however, has issued a strong warning to Paul. While acknowledging the massive financial upside, he stressed that stepping into the ring with a peak heavyweight like Joshua is extremely dangerous and should not be taken lightly.
Jake Paul could last 3 rounds with Anthony Joshua. 3, 2, 1. You've seen he's called him out, presumably.
Yeah, in 2026. I mean, that's like me saying I'm going to go for the gold at the 2028 Olympics for surfing. It's clickbait, but he might just be mad enough to have a go. It's very dangerous, very dangerous. I mean, you saw a guy who has the same size as AJ and who has much more ability than Jake Paul, which is Francis Ngannou. And you saw what happened to him, and that was scary for a while. So, yeah, we can joke about it, but I don't recommend it for Mr. Paul.
I like Jake. He's a good promoter, very good promoter. And he's a funny guy. He's got a great sense of humour, got good people around him, the key, so they know their business. There's a massive weight disparity, and that's a tough thing to give away, especially with somebody who's got so much physical advantage over him, and he's a young guy, AJ. He's not an old guy, he's a young guy. Will it happen? Who knows? Anything happens sometimes in our sport. But I think that is a big ask of Jake beating him. Big ask.
Where are you on this nonsense?
Where am I? I can't see it happening. I can't. Although yes, lots of money, so on and so forth. I can't see it. I just can't. It just obviously as someone who's been a unified heavyweight world champion going in against Jake, but it just doesn't sit right. Yeah, and it's like I'm also talking from a health and safety factor. It's like he's maybe a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua's a very big, strong heavyweight, and if he turns it on, it's not just a risk of a knockout. It's a much bigger risk. So I can't see it personally, but it's good talking point.
Addressing growing media buzz, Hearn acknowledged the attention sparked by Tyson Fury's commentary, but emphasized there's nothing evenly matched about Joshua versus Paul. In a candid interview, Hearn remarked, "If this is a 50-50 fight, you've got no problem seeing it, but that's only true from a promotional standpoint."
Been with AJ and Frank Bruno up there, the past, the current of it. So you're in now, son. You're in the deep end, and he's a good kid and a great fighter. I'm sure people are going to love being part of the journey.
Yeah, I know you're in a bit of a rush here, so I'll move on to Tyson Fury. Are you shocked that Tyson Fury announced he's going to come back to ring? And did you expect him to want Usyk rather than AJ?
I think that he's always going to want to avenge a defeat. I mean, look, he feels that he won both of those fights. You know, I thought they were very close. Don't think he won them, but you know, maybe he does fight Usyk again. We can't can't control what Fury does. I gave up trying to do that years ago. You've seen from the response online, no one's really interested in Fury against Usyk 3, and everyone wants the AJ fight. But the minute I come out and start saying this and saying that, it probably rolls us back. So what I'm going to say is good luck, Tyson Fury. Do whatever you want to do. Hopefully it involves giving the public the biggest fight the country's ever had.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him, and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world, make the fight.
Last one, what next for Dave Allen?
Well, Dave Allen's been an incredible project the last couple of months. I mean, look, we've been talking to Deontay Wilder, we've been talking to Joseph Parker.
Tony Bellew, former WBC cruiserweight champion, called the matchup dangerously insane, raising serious safety concerns due to Paul's significant size disadvantage.
It's a possibility to happen.
Oh, yeah, it's a possibility that it's a possibility an alien might just land on this fucking grass now. It's a possibility.
Listen, I'm not saying the outcome of the fight, but there's a possibility that this fight could happen, isn't it?
You just said the word fight in the same sentence said Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. This is a guy who was on the Disney Channel, made his name big from the Disney Channel, and I haven't really slated this guy because I think he's doing some of the things he's doing for boxing is brilliant. This job he's doing with the women is fantastic. I went into a gym the week before he fights Tommy Fury, and there was 200 kids in the gym on a Tuesday night. Kids, he's a big part of that. I give him all the credit in the world. But in the same sentence, he's fought one live boxer in his career, and he lost. What would you say if I put Tommy Fury in with Anthony Joshua?
Jake Paul's promoter, Nakisa Badarian, has directly addressed the size disparity between Paul and Joshua. Size-wise, we can get comfortable with it, he said. Paul reportedly walks around at 210 to 215 pounds, compared to Joshua, who often weighs in near 252 pounds. Badarian argued that Paul's strength and rapid development in the ring make the matchup viable. He pointed to Paul's experience at heavyweight, including his scheduled bout with Mike Tyson, and insisted that Paul's growth leaves them confident about the physical margin. However, across the boxing world, fighters, trainers, and promoters continue to raise concerns about the legitimacy, safety, and long-term legacy of this fight. While some acknowledge its commercial appeal, few see it as a credible contest.